Spurs then with a 2-1 win over Newcastle. Do you say the same to me for this game as you did Chelsea, that you expected this to be an easy win, therefore we can't read anything into it?
Do you know what? If we had put a different date on this game, if we had put last year, nobody would know no difference. Because this is exactly how these two teams were last year for me. Newcastle at home are lively. When the crowd gets behind them, they look as though they're giving it all, but they're just not quite good enough. That's what they were last year, and that's what they were today. And Spurs were exactly the same. Spurs, when it comes to the big games, when it comes to when it matters, will just not quite have it. But against the likes of Newcastle, they'll win the games.
Would you be concerned that Spurs looked tired in that second half? They did look.
Against Newcastle at St James's Park, and yes, these are exactly the same two teams. And to Stevie's point, this was the opening day fixture last year, and which Spurs won 2-0. But listen, a short pre-season. Spurs had quite a few players away with the England team at the very least, and Newcastle at home, I think they, as much as anybody, have a siege mentality with what's been happening or not, as the case may be, upstairs at St James's Park. I thought it was a good performance from Newcastle.
Yeah,
and Spurs,
they still lose. Obviously, Spurs is the talking point.
Spurs take the 3 points.
Newcastle, innit? It was good, but they lost.
Kane looked rusty, though, didn't he?
He looks rusty every August. Harry Kane never plays well in August.
Oh.
Never.
Is that it? We just give him a pass?
One season wonder Harry Kane never plays well in August.
Just give him a pass because he never scores in August. So many eyebrows raised about that $50 million price tag. Steve, I think you laughed, in fact, when this all went through. You laughing now, eh?
Yes. I'm laughing at me laughing. Hey, it's one game. He scored 2 good goals. Listen, he got a bit fortunate with the first one, and nobody closed him for the second. But you know what? 2 goals in your first game, then I'm sure he's sticking his tongue out at people like me in particular.
Sticking his tongue out.
Yeah. That's as good as Steve eating humble pies I've ever seen.
Quickly, Shaq, Pickford got caught cheating? Or
got caught cheating. Maybe thinks Neves, given what we saw of him last year in the Championship, goes the other way. But no, shouldn't get beaten by that.
Julian Laurent, it's all about PSG and suggestions that they could be signing Dembele from Barcelona. What are you hearing?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because it's not really the position up front, as you know, on the wing, for example, that they were targeting this summer. They wanted more of a left back and a defensive midfielder first. So I believe Dembele has been offered to a few clubs in Europe. Some have considered him, some haven't. I think PSG maybe are waiting a bit to see what will happen to players like Julian Draxler, Gonzalo Guedes, for example, even Angel Di Maria to a certain extent, and maybe after that see what they can do with Dembele. But I don't think, PSG have a lot of money to spend and they have to be very careful with financial fair play still. And secondly, again, this is not the position that is the priority for Thomas Tuchel.
It was a great start to the season, wasn't it, for Paul Pogba and Manchester United yesterday? An intriguing post, though, from Pogba on Instagram. I'll always give my best to the fans and my teammates, no matter what's going on. Let's bring Julian Laurent into the conversation, shall we? Hashtag Pog feelings. What are the feelings?
I think the feelings is maybe he's getting a bit tired by all what's written, interpreting, said by people around him. I really believe he thought, I won the World Cup and maybe I can have a quiet summer, and it's the complete opposite. It looks like Paul Pogba's life can't be normal or can't be quiet. It has to always be his name on the back pages of newspapers here in England. He always has been his name on TV shows like ours, always discussing it, because there always seemed there's something. Maybe it's partly his fault, maybe it's partly Jose Mourinho's fault, or Mino Raiola's fault, or Ed Woodward's fault. I don't know. But I think for me that post is, I'm a bit tired with everything that's going on, but I can still show you that I give everything to my team, to my club, and to my fans. For me, he's a bit tired of everything that's going around him, when I think he just wants a quiet summer for once.
Why didn't he celebrate, Jules?
I don't know. It's a tricky one. Is that a dig at Mourinho? Maybe is that a dig at, again, like we just said, that he's tired and he wanted to prove people wrong. Maybe people who thought that all those things going on, off the pitch, off the field, all those rumors, all those allegations that were bothering him and disturbing him for that game, and he showed by the way he played that he didn't, and maybe that was his reaction. it's an interesting one because usually Pogba being so extrovert, that usually he's celebrating everything. So maybe there's something a bit deeper than just all those rumors. Maybe he doesn't feel good about everything that's been written when, like we said on the show last week, he's happy at United. He never asked to leave. He never asked for more money. But yet he's always on the back pages. It's always about him. And I think maybe that not celebrating was him showing that he can still do his job. He can still do his job despite everything that's been going on.
What do you make of it all, Stevie?
I think he's probably just a little angry that things have probably been written and said about him that will not be correct. And the best way he can is to put the ball in the back of the net. I think that's probably why he was so stern with Sanchez that he was taking it. He just wanted to shut everybody up. I think it's just a little bit of anger. He's had enough of it, and he's telling us all.
But of course, a lot of the reason we've talked about him at length is because of his coach and his manager and what he's had to say.
It's because of who he is. It's Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba was world record transfer once upon a time. He's now the face of Manchester United, in my opinion. He's a World Cup winner. Of course, there's going to be a lot of noise. And yes, some of that noise is maybe a little bit negative. But there's that noise Pogba can only control from one channel. If you're talking about Mourinho, if you're talking about Woodward, Mino Raiola, who had quite a bit to say himself, only one of those channels Paul Pogba can control, and that's Mino Raiola. That's his responsibility. So if there is some kind of noise that you don't appreciate in that regard, then you have to have a word with the agent about that. Other than that, this is football nowadays. You're playing with one of the biggest clubs in world football. You are the face. You are one of the biggest stars in world football. Of course there's going to be noise. You have to accept that landscape for what it is.
Welcome into Extra Time on what is our 5-year anniversary, boys. August 11, 2013. I don't know. Surely other shows make a big deal of this.
What do you get for a 5-year anniversary?
I don't know. What is it? Silver, gold? I have no idea. Stevie, you're an expert on anniversaries.
I don't have anniversaries anymore.
Why not?
Well, I don't need to bother remembering them.
Why? Your wife's still alive.
Just cancelled them.
You just cancelled anniversary?
Cancelled my anniversary.
Why?
I told her a few years ago, I said, look, we're not going to bother anymore.
Romantic.
Because I never remembered anyway.
Right.
So I may as well officially cancel it and then I don't even have to try and remember.
Why don't you just go the whole hog and just say, well, look, you live over in that house, I live over in this house.
I better not say what I was going to say.
Why?
That looks stupid.
Why must everything
answer that.
from Jose Mourinho be twisted into something negative? No mention of the praise for his players yesterday, but only about a comment about Leicester's spending. So we got a lot of these sort of tweets yesterday after United's win against Leicester. United fans saying we were too negative about Jose Mourinho's comments.
Jose,
you were on the Friday show.
Jose was negative. That's
mostly
right.
He was positive. Yet you picked up on the negative quotes.
Yeah, no, but if my point yesterday was, why can't you pay somebody a compliment?
This is Luke Shaw, yes.
Luke Shaw, without some kind of backhanded criticism.
But mostly he was positive about everyone.
Great, and then just leave that.
But why didn't you mention that on the show?
But that's normal.
You didn't mention the praise that he gave.
No, I said whenever he gives a compliment, somehow a backhanded criticism always follows.
Paul Pogba, he didn't criticise at all. He just gave him lots of praise.
Oh, good.
You didn't bring that up. What's wrong?
After he killed them all summer. Give me a chance. That's why Paul Pogba didn't smile.
Yeah? Is that why?
Pog feelings.
You got anything to say on this, Stephen?
After the opening game of the season, and you win at home,
Yes.
it's normal for the manager to be upbeat and praise everybody, right, Shaka?
Yeah, so you would think.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. And so, if that had been the case and he had left it at that, nothing would have been said.
It's true.
But he had to throw in the old super negativo. So then why do you wonder why we pick up on it?
The old super negativo.
Well,
Yeah, well.
just for our European viewers.
Worst superhero ever.
For our European viewers.
Yes.
What language is negativo?
Well, it encompasses a lot.
Oh, I see.
See?
Julien, how do you say negative in French?
Negative.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, wow. I didn't know I was speaking French all this time.
Joe, it's really funny, right? Any
You want me to
normal
make it
person, any normal person would answer that with throwing an O on the end of
No,
it.
they wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
Why would they do that?
No,
What normal person? What normal
Just
person?
normal people just to throw an O on the end
he
of it.
would have said it just to stitch you up. Can Everton or Wolves realistically push
No.
the top 4 spots?
Don't be silly.
How about Europa
Did you watch the
League?
game today?
Yes, I did.
Right.
How about Europa League?
No.
What's Europa League? Top 7?
6.
6?
No, 7. Burnley got in, didn't they?
Yeah, that's correct. 7.
Thank you. You guys don't usually cover the Championship football, but Steve Nicol, what do you think of Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds and how they absolutely dominated Lampard's derby today? Are Leeds going up this season?
yeah. I mean, usually it lasts 6 months. I don't want to be too negativo, like Steve says, for
See?
Leeds fans.
See?
Don't want to be too negativo for the Leeds fans, but usually the pattern is 6 very, very good months where it's sort of exciting, it's sort of working, it's sort of fantastic. The man marking is brilliant. They run everywhere, and then they run out of steam. That's what they do, and then it gets more difficult. But I hope for Leeds that he can, be a bit more consistency. That he can sustain that effort. But so far, I have to say the 2 games that I've watched were fantastic, and it's a club that needs a lot of love and with great fans, and they need, they need something good. And so far, Bielsa is good. I just hope for them it lasts.
Didn't you have some of the team outside the training ground picking up rubbish? All right. Does anyone
Telling you they would.
Will Timothy Weah get any playtime this year at PSG, Jules? And do you see superstar potential in him?
Yeah, I think he will get some game time. Not a lot, but he will certainly play in the domestic clubs. I think he will play in the league as well in some games. He did well in the pre-season. I think Thomas Tuchel was quite impressed by what he offered as an 18-year-old. Let's not forget he's only 18. And he had a very good end of last season, if you remember. Very promising, and then he did well in pre-season. And Tuchel likes young players. I think Tuchel likes him. He will get some game time, and I think he asked for it during pre-season after some games. He said, I hope I can play a bit more. I hope I can show the manager what I can do. But he knows it's a bit limited, and he knows it's a bit early to really be Cavani's number 2. I think he's not a number 2 to Cavani, but he will get some game time, and he will be good for his evolution and his progression.
Was it weird for your son, Stevie, being Steve Nicol's son? Did everyone expect him to be brilliant at football? But
No, they didn't expect him to be brilliant at football. He just would get stick.
Right,
Either way, stick.
right.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So,
No, it's not. It's not easy. It's not easy.
that's kind of a
It's
weird
actually-
thing, isn't it?
it's-
Because
it's
you're
kinda
always
weird.
known as Steve Nicol's son.
Correct. Aye. But I'll tell you what, the best thing that happened to him was we came over here.
Well, then nobody knew you.
There's nobody knew me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he was the Brit that played American football. He loved it.
Perfect. There you are. Shaka here slot.
That was his nickname.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have those sort of problems.
No. Never.
That is it. We are done. ESPN FC returns tomorrow. Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, West Ham, I imagine, will dominate the conversation.
West Ham will win.
4-0, isn't it, Shan?
Yep.
Negativo!
Super negativo. World renowned at that.
Oh, European audience.
World renowned apart from you two. But then you two know nothing about the world.
That's what can be.
So
For our European audience.